The scientist's life prior to the Combine is unknown, but she would come to work with them sometime before the Vault incident. Her exact role in their occupation is also unknown, but it appears that she is some kind of contractor and would be given substantial authority, saying that she is her own supervisor, though she would still need to go through the relevant hierarchy in order to get the Combine to take action.
Well, what about if I went and got my supervisor? Would that move the needle on this thing? No, that's the point. I am my supervisor. You're killing me.
Her role, or history, allowed her some knowledge of the Vault, including some information about the G-Man and his imprisonment, as well as the events of the Black Mesa incident.
Look, this guy we've got in there survived Black Mesa. He raised holy hell and then just disappeared. We finally caught him and you're just gonna let him go again?
And she possibly has an unknown perception of time, speaking of the events taking place across Half-Life Alyx as the history of today.
Look, if it's still here when she gets there, he's gone. What in the history of today makes you think you're gonna stop her?
About 5 years prior to the uprising, the scientist appears to have been stationed within, or have easy access to the quarantine zone, as she was present at the tanker yard. As Alyx Vance was pushing toward the Vault, the scientist would attempt to counter her, specifically by attempting to convince this advisor on moving the Vault away from its position.
Hi, okay, great,
Wait,
Emily, hi. We need to move the box or this thing is gonna be Black Mesa all over again.
This conversation would be eavesdropped on and misconstrued by the rebels to believe that Gordon Freeman was actually the one in the Vault.
Survived Black Mesa, then disappeared. Eli, they do have a super weapon.
God damn it, Russ, they got Gordon Freeman.
Oh, wow. That's good, right?
This is very, very good.
This is a miracle.
All right. So, let's go save Gordon Freeman.
The scientist's pleas would ultimately be fruitless, as Alyx would crash the Vault into the city where it was stationed and free the G-Man from the Combine prison. The scientist exclusively appears on A4-C17 Tanker Yard in Half-Life Alyx. Although never named in-game, her title, the Scientist, would come from her model name and the name given to her entity in the map. Contractor is the name used for the folder of all her dialogue, as well as the scene scripts and files for her conversation with the advisor. Her character model uses mostly black textures, obscuring her features in the game itself. The room she is finally seen speaking in is called the Rumpel Room in the various instances used to compose the map. Prior to her appearance in this room, she can be briefly glimpsed moving past a window from the outside after hitting the highlighted trigger point, or alternatively heard walking on the creaky wood from inside.
There's somebody up there.
That's not Combine. Maybe a scavenger? Be careful.
The scientist's development origins begin with a cut character named Han. Han's earliest incarnations appear to have been male, with temporary dialogue designated for the character using a male voice actor.
We don't shoot our friends, not unless they do something unfriendly. Save your enthusiasm for the inspection in Brassbound.
And material for Han's temporary model were also using male-based textures. Han's character would evolve into a woman, with these pieces of concept art being generated for her physical appearance. Han was supposed to be Half-Life Alyx's central Combine antagonist during a period of development between 2017 to 2019. During this time, the story focused on Eli and Alyx being held captive at a manor. Han was the Combine official in charge of keeping them there. She was described as a woman with her brain sucked out by the Combine. One original ending would involve the player as Alyx returning to the manor, thanks to G-Man, to kill Han and free Eli. Eventually, Han was split apart, her name being used on the name tag of Olga's jumpsuit. Whether this is Olga's last name or the name of an organization in the retail universe is unknown. A finalized hair texture for Han ended up being used by both Olga and the scientist. Han's role and overall design was given to the scientist. An eye texture for Han, though, remains unused in the game. As well, there is an anim graph. The anim graph only contains basic movement items and no other animations. Sean Vanneman at Valve finally discusses how the scene was created and the character was transformed into the scientist for the retail title.
If the player thought they had uncovered a new mission to save Gordon Freeman from stasis, then the twist at the end could be secure. To pull it off, the writers created a new, mysterious character, a scientist collaborating with the Combine. This addition came late in the project, so the writers relied on another tried-and-true tact. Base the character on an actor we're fond of, and then do our absolute best to cast and record with that person. The chosen actor had struck a particular tone with the writers. She has an easy, in-command confidence, and a smooth southern Missouri drawl. This not only sets her apart from the other characters in the Half-Life universe, but makes the character easy to hear on the page, which is incredibly important when time is short at the end of the project. And once she was in the studio, her pitch-perfect performance assured us that we'd made the correct decision. Of course, then the scene still had to be built. Level designers figured out what existing chunk of level track could be bumped out to fit the scene. The area we chose previously held some barnacles and a few light puzzle elements, which the designers weren't upset to lose. The level track had to be altered to funnel you into a place where the scene could unfold and the player could eavesdrop without getting a good look at the character. This served two purposes. One was that it would benefit the mystery for the scene to feel furtive and for the identity of the character to remain secret. But also, we could shroud the performance and the intricate facial animation necessary to bring a character to life, all in shadow, for the animators and the choreographers. Like in a lot of cases, not doing the work was the correct thing for both the story and our tight shipping.